সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, বিরতির পর আপনাদের সবাইকে আবারও আমন্ত্রণ কমিউনিটি ম্যাটার্সে। আমরা আজকে কথা বলছি নার্সারি ক্লোজার্স at Tower Hamlets Council. If you are a resident of Tower Hamlets, if you have a kids with special necessity and you're looking for affordable nursery, those Tower Hamlets Council run nurseries provide that sort of facilities. They do cater for local community, particularly Tower Hamlets resident, as we know that child poverty is highest. Child poverty is highest in comparison to any other area in Tower Hamlets. We know that there are so many challenges and also opportunities in Tower Hamlets as well. If you are a resident of Tower Hamlets, I'm sure you will understand my viewpoint. Today we are discussing about nursery closure at Tower Hamlets. Recently, there has been a long consultation regarding closure of last 3 remaining nurseries at Tower Hamlets, and soon the cabinet and mayor will make a decision. There are concerned groups. They have been campaigning for quite some time now they are lobbying to local authority, they are lobbying to mayor's office, they are lobbying to relevant body to listen to their concern and reconsider the decision not to close those nurseries as they cater for Tower Hamlets residents. And on our first segment, we were talking about the implication and how the decision has been taken. Today, I'm on our set. We have one concerned parents, and we also have a member from Overview and Scrutiny Committee. We also approached to spokesperson from local council. We also approached to cabinet member who is responsible for that particular service to listen to their viewpoint, to listen to their concern, to listen to their perspective of this decision. However, unfortunately, we could not get hold of them. But in near future, if there is any such opportunity, we'll definitely try to understand their viewpoint as well. Before I go any further, let me introduce you those who have joined us in this segment. Let me introduce you once again my guest with you today. On my right hand side, I have a very concerned parents, Nouraja Rahman. She's been campaigning for quite some time now regarding this particular issue. So thank you so very much once again for joining us today and to talk about this very important topic, particularly for Tower Hamlets mother, for Tower Hamlets resident. Thank you so very much. And on my left hand side, I have Dr. Philip Rice. He's a member of Overview and Scrutiny Committee, an independent committee that is responsible for making decision for policy that helps the elected representative to make that decision.
Hearing appeals. Again, I think that's the sent. Hearing appeals.
Hearing appeals. Thank you so very much, Dr. Philip Rice, for joining us today and sharing your concerns as well. So on our last segment, we were talking about how those decisions were made. I mean, Nouraji, you mentioned that there were lack of transparencies and accountabilities. And instead of having a bottom-up approach, rather it was a top-to-bottom approach. And you thought those survey, the consultation, those questionnaires were already flooded, and it was designed in a very biased way. And we also spoke about cost efficiency, equalities as well. But what really, I'm sure, not just me, many of my viewers, what really surprises us is actually this is a labor-run council, and we know that labor should be labor. That's what they say. I mean, we don't have representative from all political parties, so I'm sure you'll appreciate. But we know that Labour Party represents equality. Labour Party represents diversity. Labour Party always try to have their policy to look after people, for the many, not the few. That's their slogan at this moment.
Right.
So, do you think that national slogan has been echoed in this decision or not? What's your view on it?
Well, you think there are Labour that we all believe in, the Labour policies. However, this does not feel like a Labour policy mayor. He is not listening to the community. He was voted in by the community to listen to our concerns and especially listen to our vulnerable children. Yet we are not getting that. And I feel like we have been let down. You know,
Right.
I've been a Labour supporter all my life. You know, I'm not going to lie on TV, but you know, I feel like this is not the Labour that I voted for. Certainly not this particular mayor. You know, what he's doing, what he's planning to do, it is not a Labour policy. It can't be. These are the children of our future, children who are vulnerable. Frontline services should be considered a lot more than just saying, yes, we're going to close them. This is an ongoing campaign, and I'm sure if they looked and appreciated the services they provide, it is a fantastic service they're providing. Yet they can't seem to take that on board and consider, you know what, let's keep them open. Let's give the children a little future. But they're not. They just want to close it, save the money and move on. But where is that money going to go? And Dr. Price will go into those details a little bit later.
Right. Thank you so very much. Dr. Philip Price, you on our last segment, you mentioned that Mayor, our current respected mayor, he wants to take people's view into consideration. He wants the overview and scrutiny committee to help him to formalize those public policy to serve the local community. So he is serious about the local community, don't you think?
I think looking at it that way, you're absolutely right. I mean, let me helpfully say that the Overview and Scrutiny Committee is not a whipped committee. Therefore, we are genuinely looking at the arguments and the principles. Whilst we have 10 councillors on board, we have 6 community representatives on board. And so I think the way to look at this is you are going to get a more objective view of what the arguments and what the principles are, but without wearing a hard political hat. I mean, the councillors stay councillors, of course, but the committee was actually unanimous in asking for the mayor to reconsider the consultation, the basis of the consultation.
And he is reconsidering it, is he not?
The consultation was also followed by a petition. And what is interesting is that it's not absolutely clear how the mayor has moved, and having heard what's on the consultation and what's heard in the petition, we're hearing various things. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope that the voice of the community is being heard, and some of the things, I don't want to be putting it in political terms, let's hope that the voice of the community and the work on the principles is actually going to be effective in the next few weeks. And we really need to get to the bottom of this, and we really need the equalities argument to be understood, and we really need some of the things that have been said, but I think the community needs an opportunity to correct or call for more work, but doing that in a community way, as a call from community representatives.
Right. I mean, this is why I believe this is one of the reasons why this particular committee has been set up. Overview and Scrutiny Committee, and as you mentioned that although there are representatives, those who are directly elected, however there are representatives from community as well,
yes, well,
like
from education, remember,
right.
From education, 2 parent governors, 1 Church of England schools representative, 1 Roman Catholic schools representative, 1 Muslim faith representative, and another parent who's a parent governor. You have to be in education, but you are bringing in
those expertise,
that expertise, yes.
So that means mayor and the current cabinet, the current administration, they are serious about taking people's view into consideration. They are serious about the local community, and they are trying to serve the community, don't you think?
Well, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to be part of that. And I think the equalities argument, though, is being missed. I think there is progress. I think it's good that we had the extra time for consultation. I think it was good that we had the petition, and I think it's going to be good if we can get the equalities impact to be rewritten, and from the input from the consultation, the voices there, and the voices from the petition to be taken as full value from the community. And I don't think this policy really should stand up as it's written down at the moment, as we have it. We need to see something like a new equalities impact that's a special term for this, the equalities impact assessment. We want to see a proper equalities impact assessment of the policy of closing the local authority day nurseries, taking into account what's been in the consultation, taking into account what the petitioners have said, taking into account what the call-in counsellors have done. So there's all to play for here, we think.
Absolutely. But Dr. Philip, every year there is huge cut from the central government, a local government in Tower Hamlets that is run by Labour Party. All those current mayor, the administration, they are from Labour Party. However, the central government is Conservative Party, and every year there is significant cut from the central government. It has implication on the local services. So it is quite difficult for the local authority to cater everything for the community, don't you think?
I'm trying not to be political. I'm not here to make party political voice. So let me try.
But as a concerned resident, as a member of a very powerful board, don't you
look,
think?
if I'm earning £500 a week, that's my budget. And the choice is within what I'm spending the 500. Actually, I should say the number is of something like £465 million. That's the top of my head. That's approximately what the council spends in its budget. So if you are responsible for that 465 million and you're arguing about 1.5 million, then that is where the argument is. It's what do I get for my 1.5 million, and will I get as good an equalities outcome if I close the day nurseries with all the potential for getting mothers back into work earlier, for the quality of the day nurseries that are there. Let's look at these
long-term implications.
The long-term implications of this. So if I'm allowed to make those points, then you begin to say, oh well, just looking at what it's costing is missing out about what the benefits are, and the benefits are strong. The benefits are strong.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Philip Rice. Nuraja Rahman, if I come back to you, what are the long-term implications of closing those nurseries? You mentioned about some long-term implication, and Dr. Philip Rice, he's also talking about the long-term implication. So from your understanding, from your experience, what could be those long-term implications?
I mean, with the current situation, we all know the knife crime and violence in the young people in our community is rising. Early intervention is so important in these nurseries because they take children from the age of 6 years old. Children who have learning difficulties, speech delay, and etc. It's so important for them to start these nurseries so early so that they can catch up with the rest of the community. They give so much education and so much skills they can learn at this stage. If they don't, you will find children growing up in our community who are into crime, into violence, etc. So these are kind of long-term effects that we're going to see if we don't start early intervention. By closing these day nurseries, you are essentially cutting other children's education. So these are
thank you so very much. We'll listen more from both of you. You need to go for a quick break. সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, আজকে কমিউনিটি ম্যাটার্সে আমরা কথা বলছি নার্সারি ক্লোজার্স ইন টাওয়ার হ্যামলেট, এই টপিকে আমরা আরো কথা বলবো। আমরা যাব একটা বিরতিতে, আমাদের সাথেই থাকবেন।